comes to mind when you think of the brand BMW? Let's see. Russians, electronic music, drifting on public roads. Need for Speed Most Wanted, मेरे दोस्त के cousin का second hand 320D.
अरे S1000 RR, Tom Cruise R90.
Hey. You know that this isn't a bike video, right? But since BMW is one of those few manufacturers who still do both cars and bikes, you're most welcome here. So Varun, tell me, as a BMW fan, have you heard of a car called the 6 Series Gran Turismo?
Well, I've definitely heard of a video game that I often play on PlayStation.
So ladies and gentlemen, what we have here today on PowerDrift is a car that more often than not slips under the radar of premium car buyers across the country.
Not just the country, but across the world as well. But now BMW wants us to pay more attention to it. So much so that they have decided to launch it before the new 5 Series.
Say hello then to the new BMW 6 Series Gran Turismo. And I must say, the new 6 Series Gran Turismo here, it's going to be a lot difficult for it to go under the radar because BMW, they have now made this car a lot more sharper. It's like that spring in your step after a nice haircut. Take these new BMW laser lamps for example. They now have a range of 650 meters. Then let's talk about grills. This grill right here is new and fortunately it isn't the size of the whole car. Then let's move on to my favorite party trick of the 6 Series Gran Turismo. These lovely frameless windows. Hrithik Roshan would be proud. Kaho na pyar hai? Frameless specs. The new 6 Series Gran Turismo gives us a choice of 4 different wheels, including these lovely 19-inch examples we see right here. Don't they look awesome? What I also like are these M Sport brake calipers. They make the car look much more serious than before.
And when you move to the back, things continue to remain interesting. Just like the sharp headlamp, you have a sharp tail lamp as well. And Ayan bolte rehte hai party trick this, party trick that. I think the asli party trick has to be this retractable spoiler. The previous generation had it, this generation has it as well. And in case you guys are wondering, yes, this is function then form. At the press of a button, you can access this boot. Now if the spec sheet or the numbers are to be believed, this has more space than a 5 Series station wagon, which of course you don't get in India, but that's a whole lot of space. Now barring this not so good looking space saver that we have here, that's a whole lot of space. And that means you're ready to go grand touring.
Alright, welcome inside the new BMW 6 Series Gran Turismo. Now, in spite of this car's exterior shenanigans like the sloped roof and the frameless doors, this car is pretty much a 5 Series inside. But what you do get for your money is some nice extra headroom. Also, new for 2021 are a choice of new open pore wood finishes and some new leather. These seats are comfortable as usual, but the biggest update in terms of tech comes in the form of these 2 new screens. This display right here is fully digital and it's a part of BMW's OS 7. That's the latest operating system, yes, just like Mac, and this time it comes with voice control and Android Auto. Hey BMW, play Russian EDM.
Unfortunately, I've not found any station of this genre.
I don't think it works in India well. Back to the 630i Gran Turismo. Straight off the bat, what I can tell you is that this BMW isn't meant to be hustled around. By that, I mean that all the controls in the car, like the steering, the suspension, even the throttle response, they're all set up to be a little more softer, a bit more plusher. And that's understandable because this car here is designed to be a luxury grand tourer, not a sports sedan. Take the engine for example. It's smooth, it's refined, it's super quiet. In fact, at low speeds, I even thought that this is an electric car. But it just lacks that punch that you'd expect from a BMW 6-cylinder engine. This 2-liter 4-cylinder, it has a lot of power on paper, around 260 odd horses, but I think where it falls short is the torque rating. That's because the BMW 630i Gran Turismo makes 400 Newton meters of torque, which is just 100 more than what you get in a compact SUV like the new Mahindra XUV 300. Even when you put it into sport mode, this is the time when I'm really missing a BMW 6-cylinder engine.
Okay, I have to admit that I've kind of started liking these little escapades that Ayan and I are having, where I get to sit at the rear seat while Ayan gets to do all the hard work driving the car. I think GT stands for Grand Touring, which means it's meant to go long distances. I have to say that it's one of those rare BMWs which feels not just good to drive, but feels good to sit at the back as well. There's a decent amount of leg room. There's quite a bit of headroom as well. I'm 6 feet 2 inches and I'm pretty comfortable right here. In spite of having the cap on, there's still a lot of headroom left. The ride quality also feels a lot plush, and in fact it's a lot plusher than what you find on, say, like a 5 Series. So its ability to take in the bumps, go into potholes, go over speed breakers is a lot better.
Then there's the steering, and I have to say it's one of the most lightest steering wheels I've experienced in a BMW. Usually BMW steerings have a lot of engineered weight and you would feel that in the corners. In fact, in the city it's so light you can literally turn the car with a finger. Don't do that though. Then there's the air suspension, which can raise or lower the car. It lives up to its promise as a luxury grand tourer.
Let's talk about creature comforts. You have a 10.2-inch rear entertainment system through which you can access a lot of things like navigation, connection to your phone. When you move to the left, you have your window controls, and through your window controls, you can access not just the window, but the closing and opening of the blinds as well. What I'm missing here is probably a control that can give me access to the panoramic sunroof. When you move to the side, you have adjustability for the seat, but there is only adjustability for the recline. And the recline is also not that great, but all in all, it's a comfortable place to be in. Of course, in the E-Class, you have a lot more space. The recline angle is a lot more. You can access the sunroof from here, and you also have a small pad on the center armrest. I find that a lot better because once you pick that up, no matter how hard the car's going, you still can somehow access or change functions. But here, through a fixed screen, it's a little difficult to do that.
अभी BMW है तो एक सवाल का आंसर देना ही पड़ेगा कि इस गाड़ी की हैंडलिंग कैसी है. Around the corners, this car actually generates copious amounts of body roll, and I'm glad that these seat bolsters are holding me in place.
Just to finish things off, I really like the wood finish that I see on the door, and to remind you that you're sitting in a grand touring car, there's a GT badging here. So what next? Just like I said what I was going to do in the E-Class, I'm going to do the same. I'm just going to relax.
After experiencing the new BMW 6 Series Gran Turismo here, we are convinced that this car now makes a lot more sense than before. अभी ये एक प्रॉपर BMW जैसी दिखती है, जिसमें आप रशियन EDM लगा के मस्त रात को चिल ड्राइव पे जा सकते हैं. और हाँ, the petrol engine, it's super smooth and refined, but it's a little lackluster and underwhelming. But I guess the diesel engine will take care of that.
But when you compare it to a similar priced E-Class, I think that's where the 6 Series falls a little short.
This here is the final swan song for the BMW Gran Turismo. The next generation of 5 Series platforms won't accommodate a Grand Touring platform. But you know what? This shape, this Grand Touring shape, I think it's here to stay in the industry. You see, Ferrari's latest SUV, the Purosangue, or even Ford's Mustang Mach-E, they don't really look like SUVs, do they? They look like this.
For all we know, this shape is the future for the crossover.
Thank you for watching this episode of PowerDrift. मेरा नाम है अयान.
मेरा नाम है वरुण.
लाइक कीजिए, सब्सक्राइब कीजिए, बेल आइकॉन दबाइए, शेयर कीजिए, जो करना है कीजिए.
जो करना है कीजिए.
ब्रो तेरे पास कुछ EDM ट्रैक्स है क्या? अच्छा
अभी करते रशियन EDM लगा के.